Hello and welcome back to my channel where I speak about my art, my journey with my art that has spanned over just a little over 3 decades. And I have decided to put my art out there. So today I'd like to speak about my painting called Crossroads. I am sure whoever is listening to me has come across many or at least one point in your life where you've had to make choices. You know, when they say you're at a crossroads, you don't know what to do. You go straight, you go this way, you go this way, or you retreat back. And in my experience, I've seen many people reach many such points in their lives. It's not just one. Maybe one major incident that is like life altering. That could be like the major crossroads. But otherwise, in every stage, in every phase, in every forward movement of our lives, we come across choices. We are constantly bombarded with choices. The smallest things which become a subconscious act. So we end up making decisions as if it just comes from the subconscious, and it's very easy to make those decisions, make those choices. Let's say, for example, maybe you're just deciding what you're going to make for a meal, for maybe breakfast, for maybe dinner, for maybe lunch, whatever it is. And then you decide, should I make this, should I make that? But then you make the choice based on whatever's around, whatever's easily available, based on your moods, based on the time available to you, and that decision is made. So it's like those kind of choices are far too many that come across in our lives on a day-to-day basis. But this painting was not about crossroads, was not about those kind of choices. I painted Crossroads at a time where I reached a pivotal point, a major decision point in my life where I was at a crossroads. And this was life altering, which I knew at that point would change the trajectory of life, not only for myself, but all the people around me. And it was a choice that had to be made. Not had to be made. There is never a choice is never something that has to be made. It's a choice. When we make choices, we make it out of our own free will, is what I'm trying to say. So that choice, when I say I had to make that choice, no, somewhere in somewhere my free will made that choice. Somewhere when your free will is activated, and a choice, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how challenging it is, no matter um, how energetically powerful it is at a soul level, that choice, if it is made, it is made out of your free will, and that free will is executed by the soul. That's how I look at it. That's how I analyze it, being a soulscape artist. So this painting, um, there were two things when I had to paint this. One was this this entire phase that was going about making a choice, making that choice. The choice was already made. It's just like making peace with it and moving forward. How do you move forward? How do you do those things? um, and at the same time, I was I had to send a painting to be to be in an exhibition in Art Monaco. This was in 2023. So I painted this. I painted Crossroads in July of 2023, and I was short of time. I had just a limited time to to complete the painting and wait for it to dry and ship it off. So I could not do it in oil. And when I say time was of essence, I mean I barely had about a week or maybe 10 days maximum. So I said, let's go with the acrylic. And it just came from me. I could not think of a concept of painting something complex. Like, when I say complex, I mean get into the details of it. Sometimes I do paint things where I detail, maybe let's say a brick maybe a leaf. I just get obsessed with it, and I detail it so much. This one, I did not have the time, nor did I have the mental bandwidth to get into detailing a leaf or detailing a flower or detailing a shade. I just said, okay, this is the phase of my life. It is all positive and this needs to be done. So what best can I do? And it came to me automatically. I textured the canvas. And this texture was not just with the plaster gesso. I used the sand. So you may, I don't know if you can see it, I'll put it up, but someone who's at close range, and if you touch it, you can feel the touch, you can feel the sand, you can feel the grains. So that came from my subconscious in a way of saying that the terrain at the moment is a little bumpy. It is not smooth. So the crossroads where you're standing at is not necessarily a smooth crossroad where you have signs, where you have, if you go right, you go to Vegas, if you go left, you go to LA, if you go straight, those kind of things. This was just probably in some rural place, if you have to visualize it. And the crossroads have nothing but gravel underneath your feet, and everywhere you look around, it is nothing but soil, ground, and the horizon. So where do you go? How do you find your way? Because you look ahead, there is nothing but the horizon and land. If you look on your right, there's nothing but the horizon and the land. Same with the left, and at the back, because that's where you came from. What do you do? What do you choose? Left, right, straight? That kind of a, that was my that's what my subconscious was saying when it put the grains and the sand. That's my subconscious said, okay, this terrain is, it's not the best place to navigate and make to there's no clarity. The universe is not in the mood to give you that kind of clarity. Okay, so what do we do next? I said, okay, once the once it all dried, I said, what do I do? I just had brush, I had acrylic, and I knew it had to be acrylic. So I took the brush and I just started painting lines. I was thinking maybe I'll put some grids. Don't bother. Grids are not going to make it easier, nor is it going to make it complex. It's just something that is going to consume time. So why not just start painting? And I did that. Initially, I wanted to make it black and white. I said, if some things can just be, some things are black, white, and in the gray area, but the black and white have a definition to it in people's minds. So if I am conformed to something that I believe is right, and I will not negotiate on what that belief is. So that is the white. If I believe something is just absolutely not done in my mind, it is just a no. That is an absolute belief. That is the black. And in between, of course, there is always the gray, when there are definitions that can alter these beliefs. Then when there are definitions that can coerce these beliefs, and so on and so forth. So I started with black, white, and as I was just crossing lines, and it just so happened that the black and white naturally merged into gray. That's fine. It was done. I looked at it. I said, I'm not sure if I want to just stick to black and white. Because when you're at a crossroad, it need not be black and white. It need not be definite decisions, a definite left, a definite right, a definite forward movement. It is not definite. It can be gray, it can be white, it can be anything. But at the same time, being at that point in life when you're making a choice, it is mostly, from my experience, what I have seen in people and myself, it is mostly to make a positive forward movement choice. And that positivity you want to radiate not only for yourself, you want to radiate that positivity to your environment, to all your loved ones. So I knew that, I was sure about that. Okay, black and white, beautiful. Let's play around a little bit more. What can I do? I took the red. I said, okay, let's go with the red, black, white, and I continued layering. The next layer had the red, the white, a little bit of the gray, black, white. I merged everything and it became what you see. It had different shades of all these colors that I merged. Some places I put white, some places I put the red, some places the red and white merged, so they became like lighter shade of red in between pink and a lighter shade of red, and I continued with it. I said, wow, I like this. This is good. But it was incomplete. Internally, I felt this is not complete. This is not something that completes this story of being at a crossroad. What do I do? Wait. We waited. Despite having time constraints, I still waited. It dried, acrylic dries really fast. Give it a day, think about it, feel it, and we'll revisit. If you feel it's fine, then yeah, we get it framed. I didn't have time much to frame either, but I framed it anyway. So, okay, let's wait. And when I came back to it again, I looked at it and I said, no, look at the positivity radiating from this canvas, from this crossroads, from this pivotal moment of making a positive choice, which is nothing but forward movement. And it is, ironically, it's going to the most glamorous place, one of the most glamorous places in the world. It's going to Monaco. Why don't you add just the glamour and put the mark on it that this, whatever this point of making a choice is, I mean, the choice is made, but this point is, there is maybe, that was the universe sending me a message that you need to add a little bit of glamour, because that's what this is. That's what this painting is about. That's where it's going. That's what this your crossroads is about. That's what choices are about. It can be, when I say glamour, I don't mean in I have put glamour, glitter, gold in it, but when I speak about glamour and the universe, I don't mean glamour in that sense. I mean glamour in the sense the the energy that radiates is so bright that it shines. It has the capacity to shine beyond the limited sphere of your current environment, if that makes any sense. It can go beyond. So that's what I did with this painting, that if I added all the gold, I added silver, I added a little bit of copper, I added a little bit of, that kind of little touches, not like in your face glamour. I little touches of, just brushed it on top of the already existing paint, that glamour, with the intention that this painting, the glamour that I've put on it, and the energy that is going to radiate from this painting will have the capacity to shine its light as far as it can shine its light, if that makes any sense to you. I realized that now, when I painted it, at that time, this was all coming from my subconscious. That's just how it goes with me. Whatever I'm feeling, it comes out, and it's much later when I analyze and I say, oh wow, that's what I was feeling. That's what I was going through. That's what I was trying to express. And it's, ironically, it just comes out that way with all my paintings. And this painting has been traveling for the past 2 years, and it's come back to me just a month back. The frame, I'll put up the painting. The frame, I chose beautiful muted frames for it, but the frame was damaged in when it was returned to me, so I had to get rid of it, which is, I feel sad, but it's okay. At least wherever it traveled with that kind of beauty. And for 2 years it has been traveling. It has been exhibiting itself wherever its destiny called it. And it also did win an award from prestigious, to me, it's a prestigious art gallery in Italy. And it did win that award, the Art Shop Prize for Biancoscuro in Italy. And that's where it went in 2023 with Biancoscuro. I've been with them for a very long time, I think since 2019, and they've been very supportive with my art, I think just with me as an artist. So that's a special place for me. And that's what I wanted to speak about: crossroads, making choices, coming at a point in your life where You think you're at a crossroads, but honestly, your soul already knows in which direction to head. Trust that soul, trust that message, trust that gut instinct, trust that feeling, that tingling, whatever you want to call it, however you want to analyze it or express it or feel it or whatever it is, but just trust that it knows in which direction you have to go. You trust it, you follow it, the path will unfold the way it's meant. And when you look back, you say, wow, I think that's the best decision I made. That's that's the positivity of this painting, and I wanted to put that across. So anyone who's listening, I hope looking at my painting, as always, makes you feel positive about the journey of a soul that can appear to be challenging but is not. In the end, all my paintings bring out something that is heavy, maybe something heavy that a person is going through and is not able to analyze it. But my painting towards the end, the goal is to make it easier for whoever's looking at it. Need not be a buyer, need not be a collector, need not be any of those things, but it can be any random person who's looking and feeling what it is that they feel, with the intention that it is positive after looking at it. So thank you for staying with me on this journey, and let's see which painting I speak about next.